Hello there, my fellow Krispies. Welcome to the very first episode of the Krispy Pub. Originally, I would call this project Extra Crispy, but I figured that would be too vague to believe this will be an interesting and very approachable commentary platform. But I guess it's better sometimes to keep it simple yet very clear for anyone who likes to hear someone express their opinions on something, especially with video games. Before we go to the main topic, how about a small opportunity to express my gratitude all for your support from such a small channel YouTuber like me. And please consider to those three buttons to be hit: like, comment, and subscribe. And with that done, let's get it right on. So you guys voted for gameplay. So let's talk about gameplay. In my personal experience, I feel like this game did not really meet the standards, neither the vibe that many hardcore fans wanting to have, especially knowing that they never asked for a reboot for the DmC franchise. Based on the majority of what the hardcore fans say, they dislike the game so much that even Ninja Theory fought back, almost mimicking a high school fight where Room A and Room B are bitter rivals. With all the honesty I can express, this was the first DmC game that I ever played. I'm sure many of you will be shocked to hear that I thought this was the latest and recent after DmC 4. Right after I watched a couple of videos of its gameplay system, I did not hesitate to buy it in the first place, knowing this will be a blast for me. I am a big fan of its combat system and its graphical style. Comparing to the other DmC games, this one did not really disappoint me. Although the story did not really feel like it's the most convincing and well written, I simply just moved that bad thought away. After all, I just want to try things out by my own way. The gameplay system is a classic hack and slash. There's no better way to tell you guys that these kind of games are one of my personal favorites. It gives you the opportunity and the right to perform your own combos, and you can even try to take a challenge, such as no damage, or fight only with this, or fight only with that. There are so many things that I do believe no words can describe best about this game, but at my best, I'm willing to express them. I like playing this game because you can experiment your attack combo, and the style rank system will tell you whether you performed good or bad. The majority of my combat style involves chaining up all weapons as possible if I feel like I'm being cornered by a lot of enemies. But if it is only one enemy, I still utilize all weapons to try and achieve the triple S rank. For this case, they call it sensational. It would be a huge breakdown for me if I did my best and still get any rank below the S rank. As for the weapons, with 8 of them in total, may not have the best variation compared to other DmC games, in which there may be more than the said number. I do believe that those weapons are balanced and good at their own way. But then again, this game did not fail to deliver a very savage and stylish combat system. All of the weapons in this game have good utilization, but as for this moment, all weapons will be discussed in another video. Be sure to stay notified and vote for the polls I will be dropping, so that you can decide which content you want me to tackle on. The cool thing also about this game, in which I do guys believe you mostly see me do it a lot, is the evasion system. I was a bit surprised to find out there is not even a single block mechanic, yet it has the last second evasion mechanic. This mechanic is triggered when Dante evades an enemy attack at the very last second, adding a point to the style rank score. But to make things even better, if you hold R2, since I'm using PS4 Pro, you get a several second damage bonus if only the right upgrade is purchased. It took me a lot of time to figure out how to trigger this mechanic, but as long as you memorize, enemy behavior and their pattern, you will no longer be in bad hands. So, what exactly do you do aside from triggering last second evasions? Since there is no block button, the game utilizes an attack-based parry system. To put it in simple words, you can parry an enemy attack by pressing the same button as you attack an enemy. Be sure to time it right. The parry can only be perfect if the tip of your weapon lands close to an enemy attack, staggering them for a short duration. Now for the graphics, it may not have the finest texture or setting that many hardcore fans do know compared to the other DmC games, but I would say they are fine in their own way. Because graphics are one of the main elements that catch the gamer's attention easily, and as soon as they get to experience the game at its full potential, there may be possibilities where the gameplay itself turns out to be a huge disappointment. The whole game setting, in my observation, is set in a dystopian gothic, dirty alley feeling kind of thing. I know that observation sucks, but I'm going to leave that you all and let your imagination do the work. Because for me, it works well, and how this version of Dante fits perfectly. Even though Dante is believed and well known to have white bleached hair and red coat, this version of Dante has a black hair and gray coat with red accent. I'm gonna be brutally honest, I do really prefer to have Dante to have a white bleached hair. All characters in the game are good in their place, but I just do not think they are much of an attention for me because the game is a hack and slash, and the primary feature is none other than combat. For the level design, it's very creative and done correctly, corresponding to the game's nature around it. Not to mention, the game has actually a level where the reflection of the real world is where the enemies are. That to me was interesting from a creative point of view. But for my personal favorite, I do love the nightclub segment compared to the other level settings in this game. Although it was a little disappointing to find out that it has only 2 stages, the gauntlet and the boss battle, I still find it creative and awesome from my perspective. Another thing that I like to focus on, in which I am not sure about the right words to use, are the enemies. The enemies in this game may feel weak and boring because they have the same pattern over and over again, but they vary on strength and speed depending on what difficulty you're playing. I can only say they are scary sometimes, especially when you're too cornered and having to be at low health, fighting whatever you got and gamble on it, whether you stay alive or die in the spot. But make no mistake, they are still deadly. A lot of times when focusing on only one enemy, I get careless of my own doing when another one surprises me from the back, and that's where I know bad things go shit south. I would also consider boss battles as a training ground for your combat preferences. There are 6 of them in total, each with their own behavior and attack pattern. They also vary in strength and speed depending on what difficulty you're playing. In conclusion, I highly recommend to try and buy this game. Even though it's few years old now, it's never late to give it a shot. This game will remain in my heart as one of the best hack and slash games out there. So, this will conclude the first episode of the Krispy Pub. Stay tuned for the next one. See you later.